Good morning and welcome. We are interns and we are going to give you some information about SerenDPT, its project and this building. SerenDPT is a benefit corporation that operates in Venice and for Venice. Its board is made by Fabio Carrera, founder and president, Andrea Marcon, co-founder, VP of strategy and in charge of external relations, and Luca Giuman, the CEO. SerenDPT's mission is to repopulate Venice, which every year suffers a significant loss of residents. We are working for this mission since 2018 through the creation of quality jobs, the enhancement of the territory, innovation, and research. This building was the church of Saints Cosmo and Damiano. It was built in the early 16th century, and it was dedicated to the twin doctors who provided free medical services for the people who couldn't afford them. Over the years, the interior was decorated, and in the 18th century, you could admire beautiful works painted by famous artists like Tiepolo, Tintoretto, and Padovanino. Today, these paintings are located in other convents and churches, and most of them are exhibited in the Gallerie dell'Accademia. In the 19th century, the former church was sold to a private company owned by the Arion family, and it was converted into Fabbrica Arion, a textile factory. This building was organized in 3 industrial floors, and the frescoes were whitewashed. The factory was later closed in the 80s. The city of Venice acquired the space in the early 2000s, with the support of a European grant. In 2008, the City of Venice restored the complex, and the church apses and the frescoes were brought back to life. A startups incubator space was created with 36 modern offices in the former church and in the warehouse. In 2017, the City of Venice issued a request of proposals to manage the incubator. SerenDPT won it and will operate this space until 2027. One of our projects is Smart Desks, which is a European project Horizon 2020. SerenDPT is one of the partners of this project, and the aim is to investigate the effects of over-tourism, focusing on 3 main issues: mobility, housing, and employment. It is a mix of theoretical research, field research, data, and trend analysis that leads to a scientific dissemination activity and roundtables with the representatives of associations, companies, and organizations operating in the area in order to find common solutions. Another very important project is MIT DesignX Venice. The project is carried out in collaboration with the prestigious MIT of Boston, with the patronage of the City of Venice. The project begins with the collection of applications from groups that have a project concerning the enhancement of artistic cultural heritage, mobility, sustainability, ecosystem, and services for the city and its citizens. Once the most deserving ideas are selected by MIT, the winning groups begins a 3-month workshop cycle with the hope that the startups will settle in Venice, bringing value and jobs to the city.
Okay, hello everyone. I will talk with you about 3 other projects that we have here in SerenDPT. The first one is the collaboration with the WPI, which is the Worcester Polytechnic Institute, a prestigious American polytechnic, guess what, located in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Our scientific supervisor and member of the board, Professor Fabio Carrera, is a professor at the WPI. And twice a year, Professor Carrera brings here in the city of Venice around 25 students per semester to conduct researches on the Venetian territory. The students, divided in smaller groups, they work on different problems that present in the city and its surroundings, trying to develop possible solutions to these problems. Thanks to their work, it has been possible to create an important database accessible to anyone. They managed to give an important cultural contribution to the city. Another activity that we have here in SerenDPT is the Venice Project Center, which is a research center created once again by our professor, Fabio Carrera. It is a center that until today has been collecting for the city for almost 35 years, researches, making them accessible to anyone. Through this data, we have tried to study new solutions for the city in order to overcome the not so promising future expected for the city, A third activity that we have is the co-working. But first, let me talk a little bit about the building. In the Fabbrica H3, which is the headquarters, this building, guess what? You can admire the original paintings from this side on the ceiling, the frescoes, pretty different from our modern houses on the other side. This is a result of an amazing restoration work done by the municipality of Venice. At SerenDPT, we firmly believe that networking is a great way to create values. Our community has grown over the years with talented professionals and through collaboration with leading organizations, which have strong ties with our reality and our values. For this reason, we decided to welcome whoever is looking for a quiet place to work in the city or even just to spend their free time. This positive energy and the peaceful atmosphere have led our co-workers to take in consideration to stay longer or even to move here in the city. The pandemic in the last year, as you know, has changed the meaning of work in terms of efficiency and flexibility. As you know, online working, what we call here in Italy smart working, but it's online working, of course, has allowed people to enjoy more their free time and to spend more time on other interests, avoiding, business trip and specifically wasting time to do business trip. This had a big impact on people because nowadays people are searching for places near their homes, closer to their homes with internet services and a comfortable and shared environments. It's difficult to move back from all of this, as you know. Until now, once the pandemic was over, of course, we have hosted more than 30 co-workers, both foreigners and Italians, who have experienced our services and hospitality. I would like to mention a few of them, just to give you an idea of the companies that we hosted. We have Rotonium, that works in the field of quantum microprocessors. We have Vates, that deals with virtual platforms, We have Cosmogram, that works with music and multimedia contents. We have Pesco, that works in the field of sustainable sport fishing experience. And last but not least, See the Change, that works in the field of blue economy. I would like to finish the speech, I promise, with two more fun facts, say like that. The project Crafted, which is part of Ateneo Veneto, the first time that was brought here in Venice was hosted by us of SerenDPT. Another fun fact is that we have a partnership with Venware. And in fact, that when the employees want a place to work, they can come here and we can give our hospitality. I know that we give a lot of information, a lot of details, but of course, as I said, always words are not enough. So right now, we will divide you into groups, and we will have a little bit tour of the building, so you can get an idea of what we were talking about. Thank you.
Hello. So welcome to my students. I apologize on behalf of Professor Finotto. He's sick today, and he's not with us. But of course, we think that it's really important and relevant to be here. The main reason why we organize this event is that we want to get you out of the classroom, the traditional classroom, and we want you not to be just exposed to theory. I love you to really understand how companies that do create value. So it doesn't matter you are in the value creation class or you're in the business economics and management class, we already talk about value creation. This is the aim and the goal of a specific company. So how it comes, what is the process, how challenging is this process, which actor we need to interact with in order to create value is really relevant. It's a hard process, might be long with ups and downs. We have an idea, it will be on paper. how we can test this idea, how viable is this idea, we need to actually talk, test, interact, have feedback, talk with other people. And we do not want you to be exposed just to traditional teaching. So this is why we want you to be aware of this program, what they do, which events they organize, what are the benefits in having this structure in Venice. From the point of research, my interest is even that Venice is struggling with many urban challenges and is trying to find his new identity in the next decade. And one really important challenge Venice has to cope with is to try to welcome young brains, young people that try to create value, not just based on the beautiful city Venice is. So tourism is important. It's not the only source of value. So the more you can interact and try to understand this will be amazing. So the day will be to let you know what the program is about, which will be the advantages even in being involved in some events and in the program, and some experience. I know there is a guest, I don't know if he's already connected, is going to talk about actually the relevance of finance, okay? As we are in Italy, I just want even to remember that 2 days ago, the father of Italian venture capital passed away, is the father of important companies in Italy, is the father of Tiscali, is the father of Yux, that is in the luxury fashion industry that I mentioned so many times to my students, so they know what is it. And is the person that was behind the success of a great Italian group in computer and science, Olivetti Group. And he has actually helped Italian actors to path the way to Italian venture capital and to support startups. So you will be exposed to many concepts, many messages today. So take out the best of this experience, and I hope it's going to enrich you even more. So thank you for coming, to all my students and Brady students. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you. You are our future here. That is such an important message. It truly is. My name is Constance Allstedt. I am originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota in the United States. I've lived in Venice for 4.5 years, and I am very, very fortunate. Closer. Can you hear me now? Okay. I feel very proud and fortunate to be part of this SerenDPT MITdesignX group. They are doing phenomenal things here. So today, basically, I want to tell you a little bit about SerenDPT, about MITdesignX, and the collaborative partnership that they are working on to improve Venice. Is that okay? Sorry. Serenissima Development and Preservation Through Technology, or SerenDPT, is a benefit corporation whose mission is to help repopulate Venice by supporting the creation of startup companies that will produce high-quality jobs in this beautiful city. I don't know if you're aware of it, but since 1950, Venice has lost 3/4 of its population. That's a staggering statistic. The SerenDPT group has positioned itself to be a positive force in the regeneration of the population here. A little bit about MIT. It's based in Boston in the United States. It is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and it's known worldwide for its scientific and technological training and research. They have been awarded 100 Nobel Prizes, 6 Pulitzer Prizes, 60 National Medals of Science, 30 National Medals of Technology and Innovation. So to be given an opportunity to draw on these prestigious credentials is an amazing opportunity, and I truly hope that some of you will take advantage of that. MIT DesignX. was created at MIT in the School of Architecture and Planning in 2016. We had our inaugural class here in Venice last year. It was a very successful, wonderful opportunity. We had 56 ideas submitted, and of those ideas, 10 were selected to participate in the DesignX program. Venture Accelerator. Basically, what we do here is support entrepreneurs who are committed to bringing sustainable startups to provide solutions to real world problems. We're dedicated to solving problems that are experienced here in Venice as well as other coastal and historical areas. We have Fabio Carrera, who is the founder of SerenDPT, and Gilad Rosenzweig, who is the executive director of MIT DesignX. Unfortunately, they're not with us today, but they are the lead in the program, and they and a team of amazing mentors will work one-on-one with each of the groups during the course of the program. So what is an accelerator program? It's a fixed term cohort-based program that includes both educational and mentorship to aid in the development of your idea or your product that will eventually be pitched to potential investors. We walk you from A to Z. From your idea, we are hand in hand the entire way until you pitch to your investors. Who should consider the accelerator program in Venice? Any startup with an idea in a pre-seed or pivoting phase that aids in the resolution of problems in Venice based on service, heritage, energy, mobility, and manufacturing, to name a few, that will bring solutions and jobs and repopulation. If your idea is in a pre-seed phase, the startup idea has been developed and analyzed to determine its feasibility and long-term sustainability. If you are in the pivoting phase, the original idea is being reviewed and may result with changes to help improve the chance of success for your company. Pivoting can happen in marketing, in production, in sales. So there are a lot of opportunities to improve an existing idea. Our program, we use the Miro visual collaboration platform. It is very user-friendly. If I can use it, you can use it, trust me. They have 4 modules. Understanding is the first one, where we focus on the problem. The second is to solve your problem in terms of need. Does Venice need it? Does the environment need it? Who will this benefit? You also analyze and consider your first prototype during this segment. The third, envision. You focus on the business model and your company's plan for making a profit. The fourth is to deploy. You have an action plan that basically focuses on the goals you've set for your company and the actions you will take to achieve them. We dedicate 2 full days, 2 full days to each of the 4 segments of the module, and the DesignX team will walk hand in hand with you the entire way. It's very detailed, it's very in-depth, and it is designed to help you in every way possible with your idea. Excuse me 1 second. Can you help me? I'm trying to get over here to scroll down on this.
What would you like to do? What are you doing?
My notes.
Well, if you look at it here and just...
No, I've got more.
Oh, because, yeah. Okay, and what would you like to do?
Oops, so sorry.
What would you like to do? I can repeat all of you men. I can help you in the comments.
Yeah, I can't find it either. Excuse me. You are here? That one is. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. Let's see. Oh, as I was saying, 2 full days to each segment or each module. And the DesignX team will help you to understand and avoid and correct any pitfalls you may have. We will also help to open you to new ideas that you may not have thought about to enhance your idea. The guideline basics. Ideally, we want you to have a team of 2 to 5 people. The team composition should include a diverse skill set, excuse me, engineering, business, design, marketing, economics, etc. That will give you a very well-rounded collaborative team. The problem ideally should be connected with Venice. Good understanding of the English language is critical because the proposals must be submitted in English. The bootcamp and workshops and investor pitches are all done in English as well. So that's very important. The preliminary events are not mandatory, but I think if you talk to any of last year's participants, they will tell you wholeheartedly that it's very important to attend as many of these as possible. They will help you before you submit your idea. And of course, you can always go to our website to get more information. Excuse me, I'm gonna lose my voice. The evaluation basics, there are 5. The first is value, human and social impact, and value is measured from economic, social, and environmental point of view. Viability, it must work. It's got to be successful. Uniqueness, if it's unlike anything else of its kind, it's going to set you apart, which is a great way to start. Scalability, your idea initially will be applied in Venice. Think of Venice as your beta test market. When it's successful here, then you have the opportunity to replicate it in other cities who have similar need and circumstances. Finally, team composition. Again, the different disciplines and cultures, highly recommend a diverse team. So our preliminary events, which I said are all available to you, they're all free, and they are designed to help you create a better submission. May 1st, submissions open, they are online. May 26th, we have an ideathon. It's advised but not required. You have the ability to network with the presenters who work in other disciplines. The networking in this group last year was phenomenal. People who didn't know each other have made lifelong friendships, and it was just wonderful to see how this group has evolved. So understand that talking to people in this group will provide you with networking and opportunities you may not have understood were available to you. June 13th, we have an open day. You will meet with Gilad Rosenvig, who is the executive director of DesignX. And he will go into greater detail about our program, and you will also have an opportunity to get all of your questions answered. June 15th, we have the We Make Future Festival, and it is an international fair on technological and digital innovation. It's the 15th through the 17th. It's in Rimini. And if you go to the We Make Future website, you can get more information on the fest and the ability to get tickets. Let's see. July 7th, we have our innovation camp, better known as our hackathon. We do that in connection with EU Smart Desk project, and their goal is to contribute toward urban policy agendas that take tourism and its social effects seriously. July 31st, the final submission deadline. And then in August, the 2023 cohorts will be selected and announced. So as you can see, we have 3 months here between open submission and closing. We have a great and diverse segment of opportunities for you that will help you to better your submission. If you are fortunate enough to be one of the 10 top teams selected, then you move into our official program. It runs from late September through early December. It made up of 2-day workshops. And again, you can see the Miro modules, understand, solve, envision, and deploy, will be gone into in depth during these things with the pitch day on December 4th. What are we looking for? We're looking for people who are dedicated to making a difference, who are excited about what they do, who have a willingness to listen and share other ideas, who come prepared to work hard. How can you participate? Again, submissions will open May 1st. You can complete the application online. It's in English, it's easy, and it's free. Everything you need can be found on the SerenDPT website. And please remember, it's highly recommended to do the free events before you submit. That's about it. Any information you need can be found either on the DesignX website or the MIT website. I'm sorry, the SerenDPT website. And are there any questions? Perfect. I want to thank you for your time today. I hope you consider this. It's a wonderful program. And now I would like to turn the podium over to Roberto Montedon, who is the founder of Step Venture.
There was a question? Okay.
Sorry, you mentioned that we reach on December, but who do we use? SerenDPT or the rest of them?
The pitches will go to potential investors.
But will they come here?
So sorry. The pitches will be presented to investors. All of our activities are here in this building. The investors, I believe last year were online. They were zoomed in. And so you actually are up here pitching your idea to a group, but it's also being presented to the potential investors as well. The group of investors? No. They are angel investors. They're venture capital. SerenDPT is what? Oh, yes. Thank you. Well, we are the program.
Well, I don't know if I can help.
No,
Just trying to. I'm one of the tutors as much as Constance is. SerenDPT organized the whole program in partnership with the MIT team, and it's called MIT DesignX Venice. So it's rooted in Venice. The jury will evaluate the pitch in December. Is made of persons that were sponsoring the program and helping the program to be organized in terms of partnership. But there are also investors present interested in running the ideas then. So the acceleration is on ideas. The incubation is the space of H3 that gives you the chance to be here for the workshops, and then for some of you to be hosted right after the finishing of the with positive evaluation of the acceleration program. We have some companies here. You have one behind there. He's probably hidden, but he's there. For example, yes, see the change is one. We have one here. We'll have a testimonial later on. Rehab. For example, see the change is hosted here right after. So incubation facilities are offered then for companies that positively finish then the path. Investors are interested in making a capital injection right after ideas are sort of completed in terms of conception with the 4 phases we were bumping into. So the understanding, solving, and then envisioning and deploying. Okay, this is basically the idea of the. No. As we were said before, angel investors on one end, but also smaller venture capitalists, and in some cases, industrial funds interested in it. But you have to remember that the first phases usually are family and friends for these ideas, especially in the conception, during the conception of the idea. Okay. Cheers.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me here. I'm really happy to contribute to this great project for bringing innovation and entrepreneurship to the city of Venice. I'm sorry for not being there with you. I would have loved to make this a more interactive session. Maybe being remote, it will not be easy, but I will be in SerenDPT on May the 26th for the ideation session, and I hope to see many of you. In the meantime, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on LinkedIn. If you search my name, I will usually respond to everybody who contacts me this way. So when I talk to students like you guys about the plan that they have for the future, one thing that I hear frequently is that they would like to work for a large company, one with a well-known brand like Amazon or Apple, or if you're in Italy, Barilla or Prada. Is it okay? Can I heard something. I don't know if I can. Okay, I'll move on. This is all good and understandable, and in fact, you can learn a lot and have great careers working in these companies. But you guys are studying how to create a company, so I'm sure you're better than that, and many of you, I guess, will have the goal of starting their own business. So I myself has been lucky in my life because I had the opportunity of working as an employee in successful companies, large and small, startups or established, but also to start my own company, to grow it and to sell it to a large multinational. And now I'm working on my new business. That is a new venture capital fund called Step Venture that invests in early stage startups in Italy. So in these 15 minutes that I have for my speech, I would like to cover 2 topics. So first of all, I think it could be interesting to share some of my personal experience as an entrepreneur, and maybe hoping that you will do this as well. And second, since I'm now involved with startup investments, and I hope you will all become entrepreneurs one day, I would like to give you a couple of thoughts on the different opportunities for financing your own startup. So if this works, I'll start from sharing some of my work experience. So as a background, I'm a computer engineer, so I'm kind of a geek. I'm 50 years old. I have a couple of kids. I have 2 kids about your age. They are studying at university right now. And but I knew when I was about your age that I wanted to start a business. And for a long time, I kept a small notebook next to my bed where I wrote business ideas as they came to mind. Also, when I was studying, I created a small business, made some money actually, but then I did not continue it since I focused on my studies. Then after I graduated, I found a job as a consultant in an IT company. The company was not a huge company like IBM or Accenture. It was a medium-sized Italian system integrator. But at the time, the market was growing really, really fast. I joined as the third employee in a new team that they created. And after 3 years, we were 300 in the same team, and I was responsible for half of this business. After a few years, growth slowed down, so I was not learning much anymore. And I received an offer from Fastweb. Fastweb, the telecom company. If you're Italian, you know it for sure. If you're not, it's one of the large telecoms in Italy. And at the time, they were a startup in the telecom sector, because in this sector, everything was growing really, really fast, because the internet was becoming a thing. It was starting up in around year 2000. So while I was working in Fastweb, I met my co-founder for my next adventure. I hear some feedback. Maybe you can mute the microphone in the room. Okay. So what I was saying that when I was in Fastweb, I met my co-founder for my new adventure. And there's a long story here. I don't have time to share, but what I ended up resigning from Fastweb, and I created a new company called Excel World. The story is, or the short story is that Claudio had a software house with a small subsidiary in Romania. And at the time, companies in the US were outsourcing customer care and back office processes to India or South Africa or other countries. France was doing the same. They were America, Northern Africa. And companies in Italy at the time, they were stuck with a large and inflexible workforce, but they were not doing much outsourcing at all. So what we did, we started offering these customer care and back office services from Romania. And after that, we started in Albania. And initially, we worked with Italian companies. The need was absolutely there. After 1 year that we started, we already had 100 employees. The second year, we had 300. In the third year, we got to 1,000. And we started hiring people speaking all different European languages. And we became one of the largest independent outsourcers in Eastern Europe. So this has been one of the most difficult but also more rewarding periods in my life. We were working in countries, as you may imagine, Romania and Albania at the time, where they were not in the European Union. Infrastructure for business was not great. You could not find managers on the market with experience. So everything was very stressful. Once you solved the problem with a customer, you started having problem with the IT infrastructure. Then recruiting and training a huge number of people was a challenge. Then we had blackouts. Electricity was going down. I could talk an hour about all the challenges that we had at the time. And at least a couple of times we got close to bankruptcy, but eventually we managed to overcome all of these difficulties. But one day you wake up and you realize that you're giving jobs to thousands of people. You built an actual business that is a leader in its sector. And this is the most rewarding experience that you can have. In the process, I learned a lot of stuff. I met some incredible people that are street friends today. So it's a really positive experience in the end. So going back to the company, we got to a point where we were competing for customers with companies that were maybe 100 times our size. They were multinationals. And some of these companies started coming to us offering to acquire the company. Again, I'll cut the long story short, and we ended up selling this company to Xerox. After I joined Xerox, I stayed there for some more years. Again, been lucky to have a great career there until I became the head of strategy for a $2 billion global business. But then at a certain point, I left Xerox as well, and I decided to start investing as an angel investor in startups, because I wanted to help other people who were also interested in creating new businesses. And I invested in a number of different companies. And by the way, I also went through an acceleration program in Berkeley. So, I mean, I hope that your experience will be similar to these experiences I had with MIT. And now I'm basically turning this angel investing activity into a new venture capital fund called Step Venture, as I said. So if I have to summarize what I've learned in this experience as an entrepreneur, building a company is one of the most creative things that you can do, because you're alone and you can decide to do whatever you want with your company. You need to have stamina, though, because it's an emotional roller coaster. Don't do it alone, because you need emotional support from at least a co-founder. But it can be very rewarding, both from the personal and the financial point of view, in fact. And the last thing, again, if I need to look at all the different things that I did in my professional career, and this applies not just to starting a company, but also when you're looking for a job, everything is easier if you choose a sector or a company that is growing quickly, because you don't need to work against the market that is shrinking, but you just grow with the market. So that's a good sign of a good job or a good idea if it's in a market that is growing. So let's now get to the second topic that I wanted to cover. What are the investors seeking in a startup, and how you can finance one? So you all have heard the stories of venture-backed startups like Facebook or Airbnb or Uber. So now you have your great idea, you want to create a company and you want to bring it to market. And it's normal to think that you can start calling investors and find the capital that you need to make your company the next Amazon. So let's see how investors look at your company before they decide to invest. So first of all, we need to agree on the definition of a startup, because any new company could be considered a startup. So if you decide to open a new bar or a bookstore, is this a startup? For a venture capital investor, a new bar is not a startup, even if it's a new company. I guess you will all agree that this is not a Facebook type of company, right? It's pretty different. So let's try another definition of another type of company. If you look at the Italian tax law, but other countries have a similar definition, you can define your company as startup and also have access to some tax incentives if you meet certain requirements. So you need to do something innovative, you need to invest in technology, have in your team a certain number of people with a degree or with a PhD. So let's try to look at another fictional company. You're in Venice, boats are everywhere. So you created a new engine, a new electric engine that's 30% more efficient than anything else in the market. And it's great for a new generation of clean boats. So you want to start manufacturing and selling these new clean boats. Okay, is this a startup? This is actually a little better, because there is some unique technology, the electric engine. But for a venture capitalist, even this one is not an investable startup. And why is that? The problem with this startup is that it is not scalable. What does scalable mean? Again, let's use an example. Let's take a company like Zoom. You've used it for video calls. Say in a company like that, you have acquired 1 million customers, and you're making $10 million a month in revenue. And say that the cost for supporting these customers is $5 million. What happens if your customer base double? From the revenue side, your revenue will double. So instead of making 10 millions, you will make 20 millions. But from the cost side, since to serve these additional million customers, you only need a little bit more capacity on the servers that run the software, and these servers are really cheap. Your cost will not increase that much. Let's say that it goes from 5 million to 6 million. So when your revenue grows from 10 to 20, your profit grows from 5 to 14. So do you see how this works? So the cost of the incremental customer is really, really small. So in your boat business, on the other hand, if you are building 20 boats instead of 10 boats, you do not have the same effect on your profit. So if your profit for each boat that you sell is 1,000 euros for the first 10 boats, when you scale, your profit may become 1,100 euros per boat. Because for every boat that you build, you need to buy components, use manpower, energy, and at a certain point, you will outgrow your factory, and you need to build another factory, and you need a pretty big investment to do this. Another thing that happens in these scalable companies is that, again, look at Zoom. When you acquire a company, the user that you acquire, when you acquire a customer, this user will generate revenues for a long time, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. On the other hand, when you sell a boat, you don't see the customer for another 5 to 10 years until they decide to come back and buy another boat, and you hope that they buy it from you and not from somebody else. So if I have to summarize, a scalable business typically has recurring revenues. It is asset light, so you don't need a factory to build boats, but you need servers that you buy from Amazon. And has a much more than linear growth in profit when the customer base grows. So these scalable business are those that venture capitalists seek. So this is the type of companies that can be financed by venture capitalists. Let's also see another thing about these companies. The value of these companies, especially in the early stage, is a multiple of their revenue. Non-scalable businesses, on the other hand, are valued as a multiple of their profits. So if you compare a business with 1 million in revenue and 100K in profit, if it's a scalable business, this business will be worth, let's say, 5 million, so 5 times the revenue. The non-scalable business will be worth 500K, let's say 5 times the profit. So when you start a new business, you need to understand what type of business it is and who is the right investor for this business. If your business is scalable, angel investors and venture capitalists will be willing to give you money in exchange for shares in your business. So if your business is worth 5 million, you can raise 500K for 10% of the shares. If your business is not scalable, you usually do not have this opportunity. In fairness, some angel investors may be willing, may not be smart enough, let's say, to make the distinction between scalable and not scalable. And they may be willing to, and you may be able to raise 200 or 300K at a pretty high valuation. But when you start requiring serious capital in the millions range, and you need a professional investor, these investors will not give you millions of euros if your company is not scalable. Having said that, I don't want to give the impression that the only scalable businesses are businesses worth pursuing. The business that I made was totally not scalable. But in my case, I couldn't go to venture capitalists to ask for money. I either needed to finance it with my own money or with the cash flow of the company, or with some very limited bank debt, not with venture capital. Non-scalable businesses may have other types of investors, but they can join at a later stage. These are private equity investors. Private equity usually comes when your company is big enough and can scale through acquisitions. So they will give you money to buy other companies. I will not go into the details here because it will take too much time. But since I'm representing venture capital here, I would like to close with just a couple more information on how VCs think about an investment, again, to help you be more successful in raising your own raising capital for this type of investor. First of all, VCs are okay with risk. A bank is definitely not okay with risk, and they want to protect their loans. A VC, on the other hand, knows that 5 times out of 10, they lose the money that they invest. So in order to make money, because we are not non-profit organizations, I mean, we are in the business of making money, every time we invest in a company, we are looking for very, very high returns from the investments that we make. So if a bank will be okay with a loan on a 5% interest, a VC wants every investment to have the potential of returning at least 10 times the investment in 5 to 8 years. So we only invest in strong founders who are addressing the need of a very large market. And I'll quickly pause on these two terms. So founders, it is plural, not one. A single founder is usually not enough in a startup that needs to grow very, very quickly, and it's people, not companies. So spin-offs are usually not a great deal for a venture capitalist. The second element is the large market. So the addressable market of your startup must be in the range of the billions of euros or dollars or whatever. So how do we get, as VCs, the money back after 5 to 8 years? Not because the company pays dividends, but because at a certain point we wanted to sell the company. So a few of the companies that where we invest will do an IPO, and they will go public, and we will be able to sell our shares on the market. But most companies will be acquired by other companies in the same business. So as a founder, you need to know that the most likely outcome for a venture-backed company is to sell your company to somebody else. So you will lose your company, but this is actually good news usually, because in the process, if you've been successful, you're making a boatload of money. So that's the path that you're going after. So let's wrap up, because I could go on for hours on these topics. The thing that I would like to leave you with are these three things. So whether you're looking for a job or to start a company, try to find a sector that is growing. This will make your life much, much easier. Second, starting a business, whatever type of business it is challenging, but it is also extremely rewarding. I would compare it to having a kid. It's a way to contributing to society and to create a legacy for you. The third and maybe most important thing is that you don't need to be afraid to try. often meet people who tell me, oh, I also wanted to be an entrepreneur, but I couldn't find an idea that was good enough. This is BS. Ideas come if you are open to opportunities, and in your life you will have hundreds of opportunities for new businesses. What stops people is not idea, but is the willingness of taking risk. So be okay with it and try. Okay, I think I hope many of you will take this opportunity and start a company and be successful. So I will leave you with wishing you success in your endeavors and in your new businesses. Okay, I don't know if we need to take some questions. What do you want to do? Okay. I guess you're.
No, nothing.
Okay. Anyway, it's easier if you just contact me. If you have any question, really feel free to reach out. I'm very happy to talk to people like you, and if I can be of any help, let me know.
Ciao, everybody. I was asked to come here and share with you the experience that I had, that we, as Rehab, the startup. It's okay? Yes, I'm not that tall. Thank you. To share with you the experience that we, as a startup, which is named Rehab, had during the program of the MIT DesignX. So what was this for us? So I started thinking in the last days about a few metaphors that I could use to share with you this experience. So the one that I had chosen is the following, which is a journey. It's actually a journey. It's like a flight. So you know that you go from a point A to point B, but actually you know where you start from. So you perfectly know where you are when you jump onto the plane, but you have actually no real idea of where you will land. So the point B, the destination, is quite unknown in this program. So there is a sort of secret destination, and the journey is quite long. It's 3 months, and you might have many detours, so you don't necessarily have a very straight direction that brings you to the destination. So this program is intended for startups which might be established, so officially, let's say, built and established, or not, okay? Also just ideas, groups of people that gather and have an idea. In our specific experience, Rehab already had spotted a problem and a need, which I will tell you after, and already had an idea on how to solve, let's say, this problem and this need. And it also already had a team, although it was quite small. So before the program, Rehab was mainly these two people, which are Matteo and Marta. They're also a couple in life, husband and wife, and they have a very diverse background. So I recall to what was said before, that the interdisciplinary team is more than welcome, because it really, collaboration and contribution between different fields is always an added value. Let's see if the video goes. Yes, so these are Marta's hands, And she is part of a family company that is located in Murano. So she owns let's say, small glass factory where they refurbish and broken chandeliers, traditional chandeliers made of Murano glass. While Matteo is an architect, he's a designer, and he's kind of a crazy genius person who is able actually to conceive an idea and bring it to realization, bring it to a real object. In this case, you could see a vase made of glass, but it's innovative vase because you can touch it, you can change the shape, and still you can put water in it and the plants if you want. This is just an idea of the type of projects that Matteo can conceive. So Marta and Matteo have spent the last few years working together and contaminating tradition with innovation. Tradition, Marta, let's say, with her family and the network of people in Murano Island, which is a very small island. Everybody knows each other, they meet at the bar. So this is the way relationships really grow in there. And Matteo, who is also a professor at U of University, who is a master in 3D printing and product design. Which was the problem, which was the need that Marta and Matteo discovered while working together with glassmasters? They found out that half of the Murano artistic glass that is produced and worked on is thrown away. The glass waste that comes from Murano is not recyclable because in order to have these wonderful colors, glassmasters have to color it, and they put pigments in it. And these pigments are contaminating the glass. So that glass cannot go back into the recycling cycle, supply chain. But which is the problem? I mean, okay, the point is that they found out that the amount of this glass that is thrown away is incredible. It's 1,000 tons per year, which is the volume of the Campanile di San Marco, St. Mark's Tower. Okay, every year that volume goes here into the landfill. This is a problem because for many reasons. The first reason is economical. So glass factories pay almost €1 per kilo to discard and get rid of this glass waste. But also they pay to keep the kilns, which are the ovens that go with gas, to keep them up and running 24 hours every day per day. So this is very, this is very expensive. Why? Because glass needs to be melted always. It always has to be liquid. So half of the glass is thrown away. This means that half of the energy they pay for is thrown away. Okay, so it's a lot of money. Beyond this, of course, there is the environmental impact of this problem, because in order to bring the glass to the landfill, there must be boat, and then after the boat, there is the truck, so CO2 emissions, and so on. So, no. Okay, so Matteo spent many months in testing in a laboratory. Well, it's not really a laboratory, but it's a kind of garage in Murano. Let's say, don't tell him I said this. he tried to understand how he could start from the glass waste and go to something that could be adding value to this waste. How can we not throw away that precious, still precious material that is thrown away because, for example, while glass masters work the glass, the pieces fall down and break. Or since Murano glass masters can sell their pieces because they are perfect, if a piece is not perfect, it's thrown away. So he tried in many ways, and in the end, he succeeded in creating so he had to grind the pieces of glass, and then he was able to create a modeling paste, like in Italy we call it pongo. It's really, really like pongo. And this formula is secret, because he has to add something which is still binders that are absolutely ecological, they don't pollute, etc. And that also will totally dissolve once the object will go through a quick passage in the oven. So in the end, I will show you, but the end project will be 100% glass as it was before. So this paste is covered by industrial secret. We are now thinking, evaluating if we should instead go for the patent pathway. What can we do with that paste? Well, we can either manipulate it, of course, like make anything, a sculpture or whatever. We can use injection molding with super technical things, or we can 3D print it, which is the sexiest way of using this paste. It really works on a marketing point of view, but also, and so we are able to actually produce objects that no one in the world of traditional glass making, glassmakers could ever do, because no glassmaker could ever make a grid like this. So before going back to the MIT DesignX Venice program, before coming here, there already was an idea, there already was a need, there already was a way of solving the problem, let's say. There were already prototypes, there was a 3D printer that has been slightly changed in the extruder part, which is now patent pending. But during the program, something changed in the sense that we were able, thanks to all the mentors that accompanied us and followed us and pushed us to work hard, we understood that we were lacking one thing, which was the thing. And we just heard this thing in the previous presentation. We were not scalable because we were located in Murano, thinking about Murano, the island. Okay, we could work 1,000 tons a year, but that's it. So we were missing the key point of a startup. We could not scale up in our idea of business that we had in our mind. So while working here with the mentors, we understood that we had to think beyond the island, beyond Murano. And also because we do this for two reasons. First reason is, well, I wouldn't say first, but reason A, of course, is to make money, because if you want to launch your business, it's not just to do it for free. But the second one is the motivation we had, our vision, which is a zero waste society. Okay, so it's ambitious, but we're working for it. We would like to have an impact on the environment. and lower the CO2 emissions of companies who actually produce glass waste that cannot be recycled for any reason. With our process, actually, we can, this is one of the things that we are developing now, we can create a machine like the machine you might have in the kitchen, where you put the ingredients, they do things, and then they cook. And then in the end, you already have your cake. We can do the same things with with this machine. A mobile machine, for example, that can be located exactly in the industry, for example, that produces glass waste that would normally go to the landfill and be grinded into and become sand in a downcycling process. We add value to the waste. We recycle it, of course, but we also upcycle it. So we give new value. We create new objects, new things that can have a different life in the future. And one other thing that happened during the program is that I joined so it's okay, of course, it's me who is presenting, so for me it's important. I joined the program, so the team got larger, and I added some different skills, let's say, to the team. My background is totally different. I'm graduated in biology, and then I worked for many years as a science communicator. But then when Matteo, who was a previous colleague of mine, told me that he was developing this innovative idea of 3D printing glass at room temperature, because this is one thing that I didn't say, actually. And apparently there is no one else in the world who does this, apparently. Who knows? But I mean, we looked for it really in details. The MIT in Boston actually does 3D print glass, but not at room temperature. So it's basically like a container with melt glass, and it's, how to say, and they print it in that way, but it's still glass at 1,200, 300 degrees Celsius. We do everything at room temperature. This means that the energy that we consume is really, really incredibly low. So what happens during this program? There is a lot of teamwork, okay? So you will be asked and you will be supported in really breaking up the idea, stripping it, put it into pieces. Your idea will be like a puzzle, and you will be helped in looking through really in details at each piece of your idea. You will be asked to verify if there is a real need, because in the beginning we were told that, in the beginning of the program, we were told that maybe two of the main reasons why startups fail are the fact that actually there is not a real need, and issues among the team. If the team doesn't work, the startup doesn't work. And then they help you understand, not really find actually, but they help you understand which is your market or your markets that you can you penetrate, and then they help you shape your business. This was Marta, who's writing on one of the glass walls that are here in these offices, because you will be, if you take part to this program, you will have access to this incredible space, and you will also be able to write on the walls, which is so fun. So there will be like solo work. There will also be, as I said, a lot of teamwork. This is Constance with See the Change, the other startup that was presented before. As you can see, I chose this image, which is not us, of course, but I think it really gives the idea of a lot of like tiring work together. But you're not alone, of course. As we said, there are many tutors that really, really give an incredible help. This is Gilad, that was named many times before. He's the director of the program, an incredible communicator, a wonderful person, both a human point of view and a professional, of course. And this girl was a student from UAV who supported us in the progress. But there also are many moments in which you share your ideas, your doubts, your thoughts with the other startups. And this is important because, first of all, you meet new people that have brilliant ideas, new people that really are motivated in being a game changer, if possible, trying to do something for the society, for the environment, for Venice, for your future. And these moments are really rewarding because you learn a lot on the other groups, on the other ideas, but also on yourself and on your idea. Because when you have to pitch your idea to your peers and you have just 1 minute, you really realize that it's a really hard time, it's difficult, and you have an immediate feedback. So my advice is, as Rehab, is to try to join this program. I'm pretty sure that most of you might have had in the past or now an idea that you think is brilliant. Oh my God, yes, why nobody has ever thought of this solution to this problem? Because this program helps you spot the risks. You will have many, many risks, but they help you spot these risks in the very beginning. And this will help you change the direction. So your journey will change, at least in our particular case, it happened. So we really changed direction. And for sure, in 3 months, thanks to this program, we have gone beyond what we would have faced if we didn't join the program, in the sense that without this help, major help, we would have mainly made many more mistakes and taken a lot of time to get to where we are now, which is we are still a startup. We are waiting for the first money injection, as we said before, but we already have participated in many acceleration programs. We are showcasing prototypes in museums, and we have won awards and prizes. At the moment, we are part of the Polyhub in Milano, Politecnico di Milano acceleration program, which is called Incubator. We will also go to the We Make Future festival in June, and so it's just the beginning. We're still taking off, but for sure the idea of the project that we had before coming here and joining this program is very, very different. So I really recommend that you start to think about joining it. Thank you.